Hi. I was just about to sign this painting I did of a sycamore tree for a friend of mine, and I realized I'm not using the right kind of brush or paint, so how about we take a look at what kind of supplies we need to start painting. Okay, hi. Yeah, I think this is more the size brush I should have used to sign that sycamore painting. It's what they call a rigger brush. It would be good for fine lines. There are all kind of brushes. There are what they call fan brushes, flat brushes, hake brushes, mop brushes, wash brushes, all kinds, scrubbers. But all you need as a beginner, I would say, is just these three. You need a nice wide brush for washes, like sky washes, a medium-sized brush, and a small brush like this for details. For those of you who like to sketch, you probably know you can get all kinds of sketchbooks, and if you're going to sketch something that you're going to paint with watercolors, I would suggest that you get what they call a 6H drawing pencil. It's kind of a hard point, and then just sketch it in lightly so the lines don't show through when you paint. The kind of paper that you use for watercolors really matters. It makes a world of difference. And basically there are three kinds of papers. There's what they call cold pressed, there's a hot pressed, and there's a rough. I use cold press. Cold press has a little bit of a grain, which I find handy for dry brush techniques. Hot press is real smooth, and rough is the roughest. So those are your three choices. And for beginners, I would say if you can find a 140 weight, that's the thickness and heaviness of the paper, that's good. I use a 300 pound cold press for most of my paintings, and that's handmade cotton paper. Okay, watercolors come in tubes, trays, pencils, pens, and even what they call watercolor sticks. I use tubes, and for a mixing tray, you can use anything. I mean, you can use aluminum foil baking tray, or you can get a fairly inexpensive palette that's plastic, or you can spend a little more, get a porcelain mixing tray. The ones I use are even heavier than that. They're like granite butcher trays. Just as a matter of what might be of interest to you about brushes, here's a diagram that shows the parts of a brush. This is obviously the brush part, and that can be synthetic hairs or natural, like sable hairs. And then this next part here is called the ferrule, and then you come down here, and this is called a firm crimp, C-R-I-M-P, that holds all the brushes hairs in, and then this is obviously the wooden handle. You saw me use masking fluid, art masking fluid. It's sometimes called, it can be called mascoid, it can be called frisket, it can be called art masking fluid, and you can find this a lot of places. And you saw how I use that, and then after it's dry you pick it up with this, it's a gum special kind of, it's called a pickup, made for that. The other thing you might want to consider, and it'll help you with mixing paints and it'll help you understand complementary colors, is you can buy a little color wheel. And it really gives you all the information you need to know about mixing colors. And one more thing you're probably going to need. You're probably going to need water for watercolor, so or H2O will do if you don't have water. And the other thing I put down here as a reminder is always remember to keep your brushes really clean after using. That's common sense. But for mixing for your water, it can be anything, any container. It's not any kind of anything that'll hold water. You can find your art supplies probably a number of places near you. You can go to a hobby shop, a craft shop, art and supplies stores, maybe even stores like general stores like Kmart or whatever. But if you like to go online, you can also look up Cheap Joe's Art Supplies. Cheap Joe's Art Supplies. That's where I get all my supplies, and he has a great catalog, and it's a great place to get stuff. Today's memo is start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible. And that's a quote from St. Francis of Assisi. So start by doing what's necessary, get some good supplies. Well, finally after doing 20 or more videos, it hit me that there are many of you who are absolute beginners, and so I want to come back to you guys and kind of scoop you up and point out the very basics of how you start. And it's good for everybody to be reminded of that. And well, so I appreciate all of you always for watching, and stay tuned. Because now that you have your supplies, we're going to do some fun painting.